fam. Hey, how are you guys this week? Welcome back to Toke It Out. My name is Maddy Tokes, and today, what are we talking about? Of course, something spooky. You guys already know. So I get it. You guys don't like the history of timekeeping. I get it. You guys should, though, because it's extremely interesting. So go watch the video that I already made on the history of timekeeping last week. Last week? I don't know. I'm not talking. I am Daffy Duck. No, this week we are going to be talking about the most haunted objects on eBay. Why? Not really sure. I was like, what are haunted things that I haven't talked about? Because I've talked about cryptids, not all of them, so we'll definitely revisit that at some point. But cryptids, I've talked about haunted houses, I've talked about the like dark lore of Disney and like or the dark universe, that opening, whatever. I don't know, a bunch of spooky shit. So I'm a spooky gal. What am I toking on today? Who even knows? I took like 4 dabs and then came in this room. I've got to be somewhere in like 30 minutes. So let's really get into it. First off, a little bit of business to tell you guys about. Look at what I'm wearing. Hey, if you're an audio listener, don't worry. I will tell you the website where you can go see the most amazing shirts I've ever created in my whole life. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up and you're going to see behind the curtain. But oh, do a little model for you. Skirt, skirt. Okay, cool. That's enough. We're good on that. Okay, cool. This stoned to the core shirt that I made for Toke It Out. And really for this event, I'm throwing a high IQ. I'm sure I've talked about it on here before. I have talked about it. Don't worry about it. Uh, my trivia education for bud tenders. This theme is back to school. So we're doing like a homecoming, like picture photo booth. We're doing school lunch. We're doing outdoor games. It's gonna be so fun. But I'm gonna dress up like a teacher. It's gonna be very camp, as I tend to be, So gonna be super fun where you can get this shirt and 2 other variations of this shirt. I'm gonna put the pictures up here. Again, audio listeners, don't worry. Just go to the website and go see how amazing they are. It's gonna be tokeitout.etsy.com. That's tokeitout.etsy.com. It's TOKEITOUT dot ESTY.com. Okay. Did I spell it right? I don't know. If you're on YouTube, you saw me close my eyes and concentrate really hard. Okay. Like I said, 4 dabs in, here we are. Most haunted objects on eBay. So the most haunted object on eBay was, according to, is this a reliable website? This place called adlister.co.uk? Probably not. Probably not the most like researched websites. But I figure that we would talk about these objects anyways, because they are spooky as a motherfucker. Let me tell you. I'll put up the pictures here so you can get the full effect, YouTubers, audio listeners. I will try in my most hardest brain again. All right, already failing. I will try super hard to describe these for you, okay? So, number 10, the most haunted objects ever sold on eBay. Number 10, the Anguished Man. The second you look at this portrait's ghastly face, it's not surprising people think it's haunted. A demonic visage with its inky black eyes and its mouth unnaturally wide open. It looks like it's about to suck the soul of any unfortunate person who spends too long looking directly into its gaping maw. Described as a horrific portrait painting by its original owner, they came to have experienced supernatural events when having it in their house, including footsteps and bird songs coming out of nowhere. Bird song doesn't really sound bad. I don't know, it sounds like, oh, are you living your Snow White fantasy? Your Cinderella fantasy? And you're like, oh, the nice birds. Or is it bird sounds like, oh no, what if it's like crows and stuff and like out of your closet you just hear caw? Like how crazy would that would be scary as shit. Okay, I get it. I get it now. And even doors opening and closing by themselves. But were there any truth to these terrifying claims? Well, that's the rub with the buying of haunted objects on eBay. There is no way to know. The auction site allows for anything to be sold that doesn't violate their rules. And all you have to go on is the owner's promises or warnings. For the person who eventually bought the terrifying painting, they may have found out the hard way, or they may have come to a very awkward conversation piece and nothing more. Or maybe they thought it was a perfect revenge for their aunt who got them socks every birthday when they were a kid. Who wrote this? This is funny. Where are they finding these things? Who is this person? Who wrote this? It doesn't even say, who are you, sir or ma'am or person? There's no credit to this. It's just this website. Okay. Bro, this is a baggie. They're selling fucking haunted cocaine? That sounds like some Victorian age shit. Like it's the 1800s and they're like, "Oh, you got ghosts in your blood. Take this cocaine for it." It's crazy. Okay. Number 9. I'm just going to keep reading this article because it's really good, you guys, okay? No, sorry, this might be a boring episode of Toke It Out, I don't care. The haunted bra. Are you joking? Why would we have a haunted bra? And how how haunted is this? Okay, one of the least frightening, but maybe one of the most least sanitary items posted on eBay. A single-use bra, white and a kind of ratty, that's designed for a woman with a 32A bust. Okay, so they're only haunting tiny women. But it's also packed some major spiritual powers, or so claims Tanya underscore Rose, the woman selling it. But this isn't a secondhand bra. It's a third-hand bra because the listing claims it belonged to a deceased woman who lived a life with an enormous adventures and partying before she ultimately met her end. Why? So why would anybody want her used garments? Because according to the seller, she never quite left. Her spirit is still hanging around in the bra, and anyone who wears it will inherit her success in the romantic world. We're selling love bras. This is a love spell bra. Somebody said, haunted bra? How can we turn this around? How could this is kind of the rebrand of the century, right? Like, what are we gonna do with this old bra? Maybe you would inherit the powers of whoever owned the bra before you, like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Maybe it would fit my bust, or your bust, or your bust, and you too can inherit the magical powers of this haunted bra. We're and also, I'm dead. I'm choosing to haunt a bra? Why? Because I think it's gonna live on longer than underwear, or I just don't wanna be, like, in the crotches of people, sweaty? I don't know. Bras are sweaty. I mean, 32A, that's a tiny bra. We're selling love bras, bro. Get ready for a big increase in the number of admirers and gifts, but it may not have wound up with a woman because it supposedly has another ability. If someone places it by a lit candle, the spirit of a woman will appear, and when placed by a red candle, she'll grant the owner an erotic encounter with the spiritual world. Terrifying and erotic claims. What are you talking about? What are you We're selling love sex bras, love/lust bras. What are we talking? That's crazy. We're not doing this. We're not. Some weirdo bought this bra, lit it next to a candle, and just went to town, went like gooned his fucking ass off. And I think that's fucking disgusting. And the spirit of this woman, I hope, came and made sure that he didn't. You know what I mean? So, all right, the next one. What are we on? We're only on 8. Great. A simple pair of tap shoes, made from black leather, one adorned with a fancy red bow. They look as if they could have been slipped on for a tap recital, but they were last used a very long time ago. A little girl named Lisa, who loved to dance, put them on one last time, and at some point ultimately met her end. There sat in an old nursery closet until they were dug up during an estate sale, along with a collection of old toys and clothing. Perhaps they were put to use again in all this time later. Okay. But Lisa's spirit may have had other ideas. The seller, haunted underscore hearts. Okay, so we've already set up that we are haunted. Like, we're looking for haunted things. The seller, haunted underscore hearts, posted that they experienced disturbing things while cleaning out their late aunt's house. There were mysteriously knocking sounds coming from inside the closet. Scary, spooky, don't like that. Almost as if the shoes were tapping by themselves. Not only were tapping in the closet, why wouldn't you like try to get out? Maybe you're tapping trying to get out. Not only that, but the house that they were found in had a disturbing history of murder and rumors of ghosts, including a 9-year-old girl who died of an illness. Was that the unfortunate Lisa? And if so, would she finally be put to rest? Or follow her shoes to a new home? Someone found out. Someone found out. Someone bought them. For how much? Not sure. Wish that was really listed. So, what the fuck is this? The thirsty donkey? My guy. The thirsty donkey is haunted. It looks haunted. Going through an old person's estate will often turn up a few quirky items, and a few odder than this. A decorative drinking jug held in a mini cart, pulled along by a porcelain donkey. The poster, Griffey 911 New York, NY, whatever, had known about this item since he was a child. It was always on display at his grandmother's house, and she always kept it full of water. Why? Why would she keep it full of water? But after she passed away, he was taking care of her estate and bumped into it one day, and it became clear something was very wrong. How the donkey's jug was filled with water when there was no one to fill it. Because it was left there. What are you fucking talking about? Just leftover water. Here we go. He thought it may have been left over and ignored it, but over time it seemed to happen repeatedly. The level of water didn't stay the same, it appeared to increase spontaneously. While his grandmother may have been willing to keep the mysterious object around her home, the seller eventually decided to get rid of it and put it up for auction. For someone who wants a constant supply of water around their house, may be a good investment if abilities prove true. But the superstition may but the superstitious may think twice before taking a swig. This is like weird. I don't understand. It just like kept getting filled with water. That's like one of your kids pulling a prank on you, my dude. What are you talking about? We're pulling pranks here. Oh, okay. Now we're getting into stuff that I believe is probably spooky because this already is making me feel some type of way. Is it because the background is black and a bunch of candles? Yeah, probably. It's setting the scene. But the Djinn mask? Djinn mask. The DJINN. That's how you spell it. DJINN. The DJNN mask. Okay, sorry. The Jinn mask. Okay, I'm making fun of it. It's gonna haunt me shit. Okay. It looks to be an exotic curio to keep around your house, a curious looking metal mask that resembles a monkey. But the seller had a fan sorry, I just can't think of DJN. Sorry. But the seller had a fantastic story to tell. They claimed to have visited Thailand and watched the supernatural battle as a witch used spells to bind the spirit of a dingeon. Okay, hold on. I like have heard this word before. Or it's just a dingeon. You guys, for real, this is so embarrassing. It's just the D is silent. It's just called a Jinn. Okay, so the Jinn mask. Okay, I'm so sorry to everyone who reads because I am a disgrace to people who read. Okay, they say illiteracy is up in this country, and I am living and breathing proof. So let's have a podcast where you read stuff. Who thought of this? Me. They claimed to have visited Thailand and watched a supernatural battle as a witch used spells to bind the spirit of a jinn to the mask, trapping it. The mask became packed with the supernatural powers, and anyone who owned it would recap the rewards. Not only did the jinn mask supposedly fend off vampires, but it also brings great riches to anyone who treats it well. But treating it well involves a bit of work. Most haunted objects, you just put them up in your house and things get weird. But for this mask, expect the household food budget to go up. The gin requires regular offerings of food and drink as well as expecting the owner to meditate in front of it for 20 minutes 3 times a day. So you're worshiping this thing. You're literally that's not called offerings. That's called worship. Because what are you talking about? That's prayer time for Muslims. That's 20 minutes for 3 times a day. I don't think Muslims pray that long. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And if you own the mask and don't do these things, well, you've just angered an ancient spirit bound to a cursed mask. Nothing bad will happen. I'm sure. Just keep an eye on those food offering plates if they start to disappear. Hey, we're not gonna go ahead and give a metal mat. Like, if you gotta gift that to somebody else. Number 5, a Ziploc bag. It's not often haunted objects come in packs of 3, 6, or 9, but that's exactly what Rusty_Raccoon is offering on eBay. Packs of Ziploc bags that may transport your leftovers into another dimension. The listing claims that these bags have mystical powers of reversing time. You simply put your leftovers or snacks inside, and not only will it keep them fresh indefinitely, but it will turn back time. Supposedly, if you put stale or spoiled food and take it out, it'll be fresh again. True or not? One way to find out, and it may involve indigestion. But these bags claim to have another more shocking power. Their abilities extend beyond food, and the haunted Ziploc bag may even be able to heal people. So how do you get a person inside the Ziploc bag? You don't. But if you can get a hold of a lock of their hair and place it inside, they may be healed through the power of another dimension. Bold claims, and yeah, absolutely bold claims. And this is the rare enchanted eBay artifact that doesn't claim to hold a dangerous spirit. But one thing's for sure, with the starting asking price of $25, this seller was getting a supernaturally good profit margin. That's so absolutely ridiculous. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that anybody would actually purchase that. Why would you purchase Ziploc bags with healing powers that reverse like stale food? You're gonna put a rotted steak in there and then cook it up and be like, "Don't worry, everybody, I use the Ziploc bags. We're good." What are you talking about? That's crazy. How did you get your haunted rice hat?
San Francisco.
Okay, so my husband got this rice hat from a
Some neighbor of the person that we were staying with.
Did you have to buy it from him or did he give it to you?
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so he bought this rice hat from this guy who was trying very hard to sell it to him, right?
yeah.
This guy was like trying to push this rice hat on my husband. And how old were you at the time? Yeah, 19. Okay. My husband's 19. His neighbor's friend or neighbor is like trying to sell him this hat. And I'll put a picture up here. And he's like trying to like get my husband to buy it. My husband's, he's a really nice guy. So he probably was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy this hat from you, dog. Buys this race hat. And then a bunch of shit starts going wrong. Tell me, got into a car accident? His friend just happened to forget his medication and had a crash out, basically, with my husband. My husband lost a huge package in the mail. Like, just all these things, just like, you sold it to a friend, right? Because you were told you had to sell it, right? Because you couldn't just give it to somebody. That's why this guy had to sell it to you.
They just like gave me something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So after all those things happen, a lot more starts happening to my husband, like over and over again, like all this crazy shit. And he like kind of figures out it's this hat. And he figures out, he like Googles it and stuff, and he's figuring out he's got to sell it, which is why this guy had to sell it to him. So he ends up selling it to a friend, and this like just for like a penny or like some kind of trade or something, but in some way, shape, or form, sold it to this guy. And that's the only way this stuff stopped happening. And then all of this stuff started happening to this friend. So there is haunted objects out there. Promise you that. He's had some firsthand experiences with it and just like random things. Like why this rice hat? Why? I don't know. Anyways, whatever. When you're 19, you're white buying a rice. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just trying to help a friend out, okay? Okay, number 4, the endlessly smelling photograph. Oh my gosh, this looks crazy. It looks like a memento from an old family album. An ancient brown photograph with a sharp-dressed gentleman who has since long passed from this world. Supposedly from the Victorian era and containing a picture of a man named Martin. It was found, like so many of these objects, in a dusty old attic. The owner was impressed by the old photograph and frequently brought it out to show guests, but as time went on, it was clear that something wasn't quite right. But rather, something didn't quite smell right. The photograph always seemed to have an odd smell around it. Could it be lingering scents from the time it was used that had been stored there after it was sealed away? The only problem with that theory is that the scents weren't always the same. Sometimes it was a lovely scent of roses. Other times it smelled like smoking, and other times it smelled like a sharp smell of a wood fire. Not bad smells, in my opinion. I imagine it smells really good one day, and you're like, oh, I kind of like that. And you like rub it on you like the perfume samples that come in, and some people do that. Is it just me? Okay, just me? Yeah, I know. It was worrying enough that the owner supposedly contacted the spirit within a Ouija board. While the ghost didn't seem hostile, paranormal activity around the home reportedly increased. And that was enough for them to get it out of their house and into the hands of a collector. And that collector, what I mean, do you think it was the photo? Like, or do you think you guys were like, but do we know it stopped after the photo? We just know that they sold this photo. Do we know that it stopped? Or is this photo, whatever? I guess it started after the photo, but hello, what? What's an asylum knob? It's just a knob for a dresser or a cabinet. There are few locations filled with more dark energy than old-fashioned asylums. They were full of insane, sometimes violent people who were the victims as often as they were the danger. It was common for patients to be subjected to violent treatments, including beatings, solitary confinement, electroshock therapy, and lobotomies. Unexpected deaths of patients were common, and the bodies were usually buried right on site. It's not a surprise that abandoned asylums are one of the most common sites for ghost sightings. So, why would somebody bring that home? Well, yeah, why would you bring home this knob? I don't know. I mean, I guess. Okay, so listen. I did bring home paint chimping. Don't tell anybody because you're not allowed to do this. Sorry. I don't tell anybody. I am confessing it on this podcast and putting it out publicly. Sorry in advance to the Eastern State Penitentiary because I did touch the wall and a little bit of paint came off, and I did take that little paint chip and I brought it home and I have it saved in a box and it's labeled. So I'm so sorry. Don't do that, you guys. I touched the wall by accident and it fell off and I took it. I did not intentionally peel it off. So it was an accident that I capitalized on. Do not peel the paint off the Eastern State Penitentiary jail walls. Okay. Anyways, just saying. And nothing bad happened. I don't know. I don't know. This podcast is not taking off, so maybe that's what I get. So whatever. That has nothing to do with that. The ghosts of them are like, fuck our podcast. They don't care. They don't care. Okay. So why would someone bring that home? The gates to the asylum are usually the doors to horror. The doors to horror. Try to say that with this Midwest accent, you guys. The gates to the asylum are literally the doors to horror. Horror. Guys. But someone decided that the perfect memento from one of those asylums would be to take the knobs from the doors. Oh, so it's a doorknob? But it's just a pair of knobs, right? Just a pair of knobs, right? You know, they call me and my best friends pair of knobs. While the seller hadn't claimed any supernatural events happening after they took the knobs home, they did say that the asylum itself was home to strange lights and noises despite there being no one there. So for anyone who wants to bring home the doorknobs from an abandoned asylum home, good luck. That's okay. Now this one, I don't even like looking at a picture of it, so we're gonna scroll past it. So I'm gonna read what the number one hunted object is on this list and then go back to what between the two should be number one, in my opinion. Because I don't feel like there's a really way to justify this number one. Okay, so skipping number two, number one on this list is dolls. So many haunted dolls. It all started with Annabelle, the supposedly haunted doll kept by the Warrens at their Museum of the Paranormal. While the supernatural murderous dolls is safely locked up, their existence kickstarted a wave of interest in creepy old dolls of every type. And it's impossible to spend a few minutes on eBay without finding a listing of someone claiming their old porcelain or rag doll is actually cursed. And whatever your tastes are, there's a haunted doll for you. Among the old selections are Star Wars stormtroopers that will make people hallucinate house fires, a bride and groom doll whose faces glow supernatural red. Ooh, okay, these are kind of cool. An old fashioned clown doll that supposedly moves around on its own at night, and a cartoonish ape man named DeGrunt. Who's DeGrunt? A cartoonish ape man named DeGrunt, a popular 80s toy that reportedly doesn't need batteries anymore. That's crazy. And we can't forget all the voodoo dolls out there. For many haunted doll fans, the question is, why stop at one? When there's so much to choose from, why stop? Why not have an entire collection of haunted dolls? Why not? What do you think the percentage of actual haunted dolls is out there? Is there a way to figure that out? Absolutely not. But I wonder, even if 1% of the haunted dolls are out there, I wonder how many listings are there. Okay, let's see. Haunted dolls on eBay. Let's see, how many listings are there? Oh, no, don't look this up. Don't look this up. What the fuck are we talking about? Some of these are scary and some of these are like, yeah, you made this creepy. Like you painted this to look like a creepy haunted doll and it's supposed to be haunted. Very active, manifest. Owner must like music. Diana, age 48. Sarah, age 17, so sweet and scary. So sweet and caring. Oh my god. Mr. Money. Extremely active doll moves. Oh, Mr. Morsi. Not Mr. Money. It's not Mr. Money. That's what they called me in college. Hey, just kidding. Nicole, age 24, manifests, was in a punk rock band. Aaron, age 26, manipulates candle flames, grateful spirit. Okay, so these are like age, sex, location. These haunted dolls. Emily, 28, farm girl, gently pulls your hair. What are we talking about? Why would we do this? Oh, give me more. Winona, age 15, loves history, active, observant, and sweet. Who's are you fucking kidding me? Haunted doll dame. Oh, and she's got a 98.4% positive reviews on her 632 sales. She's got this locked the fuck down with this. She's got the ghost meter on there going, oh, girl, you are out here bawling. How do I do this? Bawling. This is crazy. Patricia, age 17, loves weather, mysterious, smart. This is crazy. Okay. So even if 1% of these are true, okay, so that's like $58 out of this 5,800. Oh, lordy day, you guys. I have to get out of here. I'm like late for this appointment. I was supposed to leave 10 minutes ago, but I can't. I gotta talk about the haunted dolls more. I gotta look more into it. Because are you kidding? Are you kidding? You're kidding with this. I just think some people are like, that's like all of these are a hoax. Like, not maybe not every haunted doll on here is a hoax, but that, Diana, age 40, what that shit, the age, sex, location dolls, that's a big ass hoax. I'm sure of it. And maybe not. Maybe I'm super wrong. And you know what? I hope to God all 632 of your haunted dolls you found are out there haunting. They're out there haunting, bro. Hope they're out there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's that many, and you just happen to found all of them. Okay. So let's go back to what I think. I don't want to look at a picture of it. You shouldn't. Don't look up a picture of this. I don't even want to put a picture of it up here. I'm going to put a picture up of the one from the movie. But if you've ever seen the movie The Possession, it's about Dybbuk boxes, which I believe are specifically, maybe not exclusively, but in the movie at least, it's a Jewish like box that has I think, like, what are they called? A mezuzah in it and stuff, and like a couple other things that supposedly hold haunted spirits. Dybbuk boxes can be very haunted. So, I think Dybbuks are like Jewish demons. So, a Dybbuk box is like what holds this Jewish demon. So, anyways, it started in 2003 when writer Kevin Mannis, okay, so we're already starting. He's a writer, period. This is fake. This is fake. Dybbuk boxes are not fake, but this is fake. Started in 2003 when writer Kevin Mannis auctioned an old wine cabinet on eBay. He claimed that it had been owned by a Holocaust survivor, and ever since he possessed it, he had been haunted. It was sold, and several other owners reported increasingly terrifying phenomena. The claim was that these boxes contained sealed spirits that, when opened, would terrorize people in the house until they were sealed up again by a religious ritual. It became one of the most well investigated supernatural incidences in paranormal history. So naturally, it turned out that there was more than one. If you go on eBay, you'll find a whole host of people claiming to be selling authentic Dybbuk boxes. They warn of mischievous spirits, haunting origins, and disturbing dreams. While most people wouldn't want these boxes anywhere near their homes, that's me. Don't come near my house. Fans of the supernatural want to find out themselves. In many cases, they'll get an empty box mislabeled as a Dybbuk box to lure in suckers. Just lure in suckers. Maybe once in a while, they'll find something more. And there's no shortage of people looking to find out the truth. Those I think are probably the most authentically haunted, but probably just a bunch of like fancy boxes with nothing in it. It's like people who are like, this is an air from a Nirvana concert in 1955. Nirvana did not play in 1955. This is a bag of air from Woodstock 71, whatever the fuck it was. Like, there's so much hoaxing on eBay. How can you know? But my recommendation of the week is do not buy haunted things on eBay. That's going to be I'm going to go ahead and recommend that for life. That's my recommendation of this week. Do we do a most anticipated of the month? I don't know. I kind of forgot. I did see The Conjuring though. I like have to leave you guys. I saw The Conjuring though, and it was kind of mid. This movie was kind of mid. I fell asleep near the end. It was really long. They're always really, really long, and I get it. There's a lot of story and stuff, and it was a lot about like Ed and Lorraine, and me and my husband really liked that like lovey part of it. But I don't know. It's not my favorite of the Conjuring universe. Don't hate me, Conjuring people. I know. I like the universe. That wasn't my favorite of it. And we all got favorites and least favorites, so that's what it is. I don't really want to end on that. That was kind of a bummer, but I still say go see it. Like, go finish that, because I think if this really is the last one, they did wrap it up really nice. So, like, I'll give it to them. They had to wrap up the story, and maybe I'm just butthurt that it's over. you know, and I'm big enough to admit that, okay? We all know that, okay? We can all clearly see that. Sorry. Okay, you guys, like I said at the beginning of this episode, go watch my video from last week, okay? Please? Or the one from the week before? Or how about the one from the week before? Okay? Just one of them. Pick one. That's also going to be my recommendation. Go watch another episode, okay? Because I miss you guys, all right? And they're getting better. I promise. They're getting better every week, okay? So tell your weird uncle about me. I will see you guys next week. Love you. Bye.